Hello and welcome to a C++ tutorial on classes. And in this tutorial, I'm just going to be showing you how you don't actually have to create header files and source files if you want to create a class. If you just want to create a small application and include the class all in one main file, that's fine. It may look a little bit sloppy, but if that's your preference, then go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to show you how to do that if you want to. I'm also going to be using iterations. I'm going to briefly go over what iterations are once I get to that, but anyways, let's get right into it. So the first thing I want to do is we're going to be creating a zoo app kind of thing, where basically you can create a zoo and add animals to it. So the first thing we want to do is create our class called animals, and then we have to add end classes like that. And so there we go. We have our class animals, then we want to create our public functions and our private member variables. And then the next thing we need is a class called zoo. And the zoo class, we need our public functions and then our private member variables. So what we're going to do is in this program you're going to be able to create an animal and then add it to our zoo. So how we do that is first let's declare our member variables. So in our member variables, we actually just need a few. I'm actually just going to do one for now. So we'll just do string name as the member variable here, and then here member variables. Oh, I keep missing a key for some reason. Member variables, and then this one we are going to be creating a vector of animals called my zoo, and there we go. Just my zoo. Or how about new zoo? Okay. So let's start off with animals. So the first thing we want to do is we want to have an overloaded function. We don't really need a default constructor. So we want an overloaded constructor. So we are going to say overloaded constructor. So for our overloaded constructor, animals, and we are just going to pass in one string variable here. And then the next thing we're going to use in our animal function is we want to be able to, well, this one's going to be the name. So you can set the name when you declare the animal. But then the next thing we want to do is we just want to be able to void our string get name, and so we want to be able to get our animal's name. So let's go ahead down here and then just create these. So we'll say animals, start off with our overloaded constructor here, and this one takes a parameter of string called, let's call this name, and then we'll just say name, actually, let's call this one new name. So new name is equal to whatever the user passes in for that. Then the next one we had was void animals get name, and then under get name we could make this a constant, but I'm just gonna leave it like this for now. Get name, hold on a second. Oh, whoops, I actually said void. I have to say string get name. This is just going to return new name. Okay, so that's all good. So then the next thing we want to do is our zoo. And so for our zoo, we have to start off with our overloaded constructor. And then we are going to call this one just zoo, and this one's going to take int spaces. So we want to say how many slots are going to be available in the zoo. And then the next thing we want is we want a function to add animal to our zoo. So we want to be able to add an animal to our zoo. And then the last thing that we want in our zoo is we want to be able to void display zoo. We want to be able to show our zoo. And then actually in add animal we need to pass in an animals variable here. So down here, let's go ahead and define these functions. So we'll say zoo, and this took in int called spaces. This one is going to do new zoo dot reserve spaces. So this is just going to reserve spaces for however many animals the user is going to enter. So there's no over fluctuation problems or whatever. So then the next thing we want to do is our add animal function. So we want to say void zoo add animal, and then this one takes parameter of animals, and we'll call this new animal, or new Annie just for short. And then what this one is going to do, this one is going to do new zoo dot pushback new Annie. So this is going to add the animal of whatever the user passes in here to our new zoo vector of animals here. And then the last thing we have is our void display zoo, and this one was just a regular function. This is where we're going to be using iterators. I'll zoom in a little bit here. So what we're going to be doing is we are going to say for vector of animals, and then our scope resolution here, iterator, and we'll call this iter, equal to new zoo dot begin. Equal to new zoo dot begin. New zoo is undone. Oh, whoops, I didn't do zoo scope resolution there. Equal to new zoo dot begin, and then we'll say while iterator is not equal to new zoo dot end, we'll say increment the iterator by 1. Or move on to the next animal. And then we just want to see out, we'll also put in an int animal count equal to 0, and then we'll do Annie count plus plus, and then we'll see out animal number Annie count, and then the current iterator. And also, let's see out another line, and actually we can't put that there, the current iterator, and then get name. So then the name of the current iterator. So yeah, so then the last thing that we have to do is we just have to build our main function. So we'll say, we'll say cout enter number of animals here, and then this will int z size, and then we will cin z size, and then we'll create a zoo of z size right there. And then hold on a second, I didn't name it zoo my zoo on z size. Sorry, I'm kind of rushing here. I'm running out of time. And then we want to then just create a for loop for int I equal to 0 while I is less than z size I plus plus, and then we want to cout enter animal I plus 1. And then we also want to string u input, and then we want to cin u input, and then we want to say animals my animal, and then call that u input. And then we want to just do my zoo dot display zoo. Alright, so this should work. Let me see if this does here. And then so enter number of animals, we'll do 2. We'll do a chicken and a cow. And hold on a second. I see the problem. First you have to switch this here, and then I actually just have to do my zoo dot add animal my Annie here, and then if I go ahead and run this, number of animal 2, first one chicken, second one cow, and then it displays that. Alright, so that's all the time I have for this video. All the source code will be down in the description. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.